The Wolf and the Seven Little Goats by Jade Maître. One morning, Mother Goat must leave the home to her 7 scuffling, gangly-limbed kids, alone. As she powders her snout and combs her fine gamey hair, white in wisps, her strange soft eyes are troubled. They seem too lamb-like for self-care, too playful and unaware. Will they put pink noses in fireplaces? Will they sniff the basin and drown? Will they eat a tablecloth and cough pegs stuck at angles in their throats? Mother Goat does not see the sharp funk of black pelt at the edges of her fears. She only thinks at that moment that she knows a dark wolf. It barks a short, sharp laugh that quivers to the wobbling belly of her womb. A beast like that must know how 7 sweet-faced little kids will be alone. He will creep to the doorway all slink-bellied and terrorise them with dangers. There is only one thing for a good mother to do, a mother who must leave the home and knows her soft little kids will tumble guilelessly from threat to threat, not seeing how blankets can strangle and pillows can smother. "Come around," she says, and the little kids topple and sprawl on her slack-skinned rabbity down of a stomach like they did when small, warm noses scouting for the best coveted spots for snuggling. "There is something," she says to them, "dark at the edges. Sometimes you see it and think it's a spot, a mark in the white of your eye, but it's not. Whatever you think, it's a wolf, true as true, and there's no ever knowing of what he might do. So watch from the windows and do not succumb. Look out, give a shout, and your mother will come." The littlest, a brown little velvety satiny beast, looks up with black eyes and the horizontal line of each pupil stretches in fear. "How will we know this wolf, mother dear?" "The wolf has a harsh voice," says his mother. "It sounds like asphalt and glass, and it has black paws, large and scrabbling, with claws designed to tear the very belly from soft things." Mother Goat kisses all 7 of their silken faces, and trembling, for the story has scared even herself, she grasps her red bag and hurries out, closing the door firmly behind her. The sun is still high. Must she doubt? She has time, she thinks, and perhaps she has only imagined the wolf to her paradisiacal cottage, and instead he is smoky as nightmares, a moth in her breadbasket, a strange but unfounded premonition. But still, she does not turn to see their little terry-towel faces pressed on the glass, lest the wolf watch her even now and know she leaves her heart exposed in 7 pieces on the threshold for anyone to eat. She must now only hope that these morsels know none the less how to beat like a war drum, to squeal, squawk and bleat, should their time come. But alas, sure enough, the moment Mother Goat's scurrying little figure has vanished amidst the trees, the very thought of a dark wolf has summoned him to her home. There he is now, muzzle sniffing in the autumn air, dog-like trunk leaning, craning, straining at the odours of sweet little baby goats, soft and soapy, defenceless in their rickety hut. The wolf lopes up slowly, jaws smiling, mouth ajar. He trusts they are kind to strangers, as the innocent always are. Scritch, scratch, he knocks at the door, in the way of his kind. Inside, the 7 little goats have heard the sound of sallow claws designed for gutting, scratching at the thin wedge of wood that separates safety from danger. They say nothing. "Let me in," breathes the wolf, his mouth howly and airy as wild woolly weather, trees breaking, stones cracking, carts colliding, bones snapping. "You have the harsh voice of the wolf," they cry, and they do not open the door, not even a wedge. The wolf is yet only bemused. He thinks it is comely how such white little wispy kitten-like babes have tumbled to tell him all their secrets. So his voice is too harsh? Very well, he will soften it. He canters over Puzzta, nosing his way into an old unused mine, where he finds a large lump of chalk as grey as old teeth, and as dogs do, he swallows it in one toss. He tests. 20 tiny tap dancers tipped and tapped their feet. Out his voice squeaks. The chalk sucks up the sharp of his natural rasp, quashes the acrid bitterness until it is dulcet as lilies quivering in the morning sunshine. Very good. Now he presents to the little goat's door once more. He doesn't scratch the old wood, but only leans his rump on the hinge so it thumps. Thump, thump. He hears a twitching and a rustle. The little kids must huddle in a mountain of warm pink skin and kitten pelt, listening with their lammy ears, saying nothing again. But he imagines their strange slit eyes quivering, skittish, blinking and black. He leans closer to the door. "Let me in, children," he says, in that chalk-muffled bird song where once there was fanged growling. It pleases him. Sounds like a woman. And the kids must think so too. He hears a quiet whispering but can't make out the words. And then, "You are not our mother," says the bravest. "Your feet are leaned up to the gap beneath the door. They are black and hairy, and our mothers are white." Curses erupt from that soft gypsum throat. He very nearly barks with frustration, for the chalk is now cloying and makes him wish to cough, as creatures do when they chew on grass. He turns and gallops across the plains, through dark forest and into the peaceful stone shed of the miller, who packages flour in great paper bags, his face a thoughtful mask of white. "Give me a bag of flour," shouts the wolf, but his voice is still dulcet and makes the man laugh. The workman widens his eyes in the shock of finding a dark beast funny. The wolf howls and then sees that stained cement floor is dusted with flour as thick as aged dust. He skids around the table 3 times until he's caked with it, then gingerly trots out the door as though he made some kind of mistake, and only when out of the miller's sight does he tiptoe the rest of the way. At the door, he takes care to press 2 front paws very tightly to the crack between wood and floor, where the light, for sure, slips into that warm little snug little cradle for silky-haired delices such that kids are to a hungry, unsatisfied wolf. "Darling children," he says through chalk, "let me in." "Show us your feet," they say, and he presses the paws full under the door and waggles them ever so gently, so as not to dislodge the dusting of flour from the thick black matting of his pads and toes. They see only what seems to be white and cry with delight, a scrabbling, and then the door is flung open and 7 little apples gaze at him, perfectly placed for the picking. It is almost satisfying, thinks the wolf, to see how roundly they are surprised to see not their meek little mother, but his dark, handsome self, towering in the doorway on white-socked paws. He gives a great growl and lets himself in. The kids skitter in every direction through the house. He chases them, as one would a mouse. One by the wall, one by the stair, one just arrested in terrified stare. One beneath the kitchen table, one having tripped, one beneath a blanket. He swallowed all 6. Where is the 7th? He does not know that there is one last little hors d'oeuvre tucked into the clock, and so he licks his chops, gives one last long satisfied look, and lopes back into the grasslands. The afternoon sun is just beginning to mellow, lengthen the shadows and warm the air as 2 hands do a cup. He sprawls, belly up, in a patch of sunlight and sleeps so his gut might digest all those soft little trotters. But now here comes Mother Goat, having hurried through her errands, her stomach suspecting the worst. And here it is, door ajar, tufts of fur, some white and some dark, the door slammed from its hinges in the wolf's gustatory delight. She hears a squeak and the 7th little goat tumbles from grandfather clock and falls with a cry into his mother's arms. He shows her the path of destruction, which leads through sharp grass to arrive beneath a tree where that dark, detested shape still sleeps with the carelessness of cruelty. "Pass me my scissors," Mother Goat tells her traumatized little one, and he does, "and my sewing kit." So armed, she stalks across the step where she kneels beside the feast-drunk beast. She slits his swollen paunch and out-tumble her 6 babes, only a little damp, who dance with joy to see their dear mamma. Still sleeping, the wolf barely twitches as she then puts 6 heavy stones in his empty gut and sews it up tight. Mother Goat and her 7 kids go home for the night. Hours later, when the moon has risen and the earth has seeped its chill through the soil to his very bones, the wolf wakes up with a fierce and bitter thirst brought on by chalk and consequence. He stumbles to the river in darkness and leans in to drink. Of course, he falls in, and the stones drag him to the bottom. Curiously, years later though, Mother Goat still hears him thrashing whenever her 7 little kids go splashing in the deep, dark river. The end.